Okay, so we know a few key things. We know a few key things here. One of the key things is that Twitch had an investment in cryptocurrency. Okay? The second thing is he knew about the stock manipulations that Ellen was involved in. Third thing is, of course, he had his own investments involved in the stock manipulation. Now, the main thing you have to think about here is the fact that the cryptocurrency, of course, plays a huge part in this. Now, how the cryptocurrency plays a huge part in this, of course, if we're thinking about the end result in this, what does Ellen have to gain from Twitch being unalived if their cryptocurrency is now lost? And he's lost millions, of course, right? Ellen, of course, can't get her money back. What does she have to lose as far as unaliving him? How she unalives him, or should I say allegedly, how she has any motive to unalive him will be, of course, the same motive that the other person has to unalive him. So let's put these two things into place here before we play our Inside Private Eye. The two things we have to put into place here is the fact that, one, like I said, the investments in the cryptocurrency and knowledge of the manipulation of the stocks. If I want to get rid of someone that has knowledge of the manipulations of the stocks and that was close to me, that was also getting a raise, I'm going to remove Twitch, allegedly. Okay? So I remove Twitch. I now gain the royalties back, the $500,000 that he was receiving per season. I now gain that back, as well as I now can lock in the fact that no one knows about the manipulation of the stocks but me. I also get rid of the fact that he owed money, millions of dollars that I lost in the NFTs that I invested with him because I endorsed him. So Ellen gets a win-win here, allegedly, if she unalives Twitch, because now she doesn't have to worry about anyone knowing about the manipulation of the stocks. She doesn't have to worry about anyone knowing about her involvement in possible sex trafficking. Which, speaking of which, if we're talking about Ellen having knowledge of or being involved in sex trafficking, who else would she be close to, that would possibly have, some type of knowledge in that? Before we get into that, I want you to keep that in mind, of course. I want you to listen to our Inside Private Eye now. Of course, everyone takes Sloan Bella with a grain of salt, but the reason why I listen to Sloan Bella a lot is because she gives us great insight into the spiritual connection of what happened to the person before they were unalived. So for her to have the eyes of the person before they were unalived, I would like to look through Twitch's eyes before someone murdered him.
Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com and
Matter of fact.
Hi everyone, I'm Sloan from SloanBella.com and I am back with another energetically channeled celebrity video. Now this one is a highly requested video. You guys have been bombarding me with emails about doing this young man. So I decided to do this young man's energy reading. And in the last couple of days, I've been getting the information that I get and I've been writing it down. And as I do, I started to look for his astrological information online. And there isn't really a verified report of the chart. Usually there's a rating, like the mother gave the information, the birth certificate, the wife, the siblings, something like this. I could find none of that, but he was born on September 29th of 1982. Passed away in Encino on December 13th of 2022 at barely 40 years old. I mean, he had just turned 40. So I'm talking about Stephen Twitch, T-Witch Boss. And it's very interesting because he's a Libra, obviously by his birthday. He's got Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto conjunct in the sign of Libra, according to this chart. He's got Mercury retrograde, okay? So he is on a spiritual path in this life, regardless of money he made, fame he made,
Not sure why my other player is not trying to work here, but nonetheless, we'll just wear it from the other one.
That he had. But again, I don't know that his chart is accurate. They have him as a Sagittarius rising with Neptune in the first house in Sag. They also have Uranus conjuncting Mars in the 12th house in Sag. That's very important. Keep that in mind. We have a third house moon in Aquarius. That's actually really nice. However, Saturn did cross over it, and that can imply depression. Chiron is in the 6th house, and Chiron is in Taurus. North Node is in Cancer. So that's a very interesting aspect with the North Node in Cancer in signing papers, not a problem. He did not want his wife to know because she energetically. Here's the first thing I saw, because I asked the energy to come to me about what happened with him. And it's a huge lineage. This is a history that goes throughout his family. Now, I'm talking about his behavior when it comes to marriage, family, and children. And I do equate it with the Mars and Uranus up in the 12th house. I just had to mention that. If that is indeed his chart, I have to preface it with that. If that is his chart, that would imply a man who chooses to live one life while has another life behind the scenes. It's in the 12th house. It's hidden. Also, past life hidden enemies coming through male friends or counterparts, okay, or masculine type energy. Now, put that aside with the Mercury retrograde in Libra and a stellium in Libra. We have a person who's looking for balance but may not be able to achieve it. The balance he's looking for is coming through his family energy. He would have had a transiting Saturn over his moon, which could have implied that there was some sort of deep-seated depression that came out that would be genetically connected to the mother's side of the family. But here is what I got. I asked what happened on the day he died, and I'm going to throw it right out there. So here we go. First thing I saw is they tried to shut him up. They literally tried to shut him up. He's have shit stuck in his mouth, and I'm not talking about a gun. I'm talking about like socks or stuffing or some kind of clothing put into his mouth to shut him the fuck up, okay? Period. This is a business transaction that they came to collect on. The reason he went to the motel on the day that he passed, or the day before he passed, is because he was told that he would be doing this business deal and it would just be a matter of signing papers, not a problem. He did not want his wife to know because she was not familiar with the business arrangements that he made prior to marrying her. Okay, this was his business. I can understand it to a degree. That is where some of the sadness came in, but they literally shoved a sock in his mouth. This was, when you watch those movies and they put a person in a chair and they tie them up, and they ask them fucking questions and they're like, give me the answer. And the person, when they bend their fingers back and they put something in their mouth and the person's trying to scream and they can't get out of there. So they finally just, whatever the person wants them to say, or they break their fingers. This is what was going on. The reason his wife went to the police station as opposed to calling the police and saying my husband is missing, like his car's out in the driveway, is because she was tipped off and she became frantic. She was unaware of it, but then tipped off. This was something that was lurking below their interactions as a family, that this threat could come up. Now, here's the kicker, because I had no idea why anybody would want to shove a sock in someone's mouth or a piece of clothing. I actually thought it was a sock. That's the image that came to me. Now, here's the kicker. What if, this is how I feel it went down, what if somebody, Stephen, was basically asked by a group of people to gather information against somebody in a high position within the entertainment industry, a high political, physical position. But what if the people that asked him to get this information were not actually on the side of said high-end level star? Okay, so what if they weren't on the side? What if they were on the side of trying to take this person down? What if they were on the side of, say, a group of people like FBI, CIA, I don't know who, but some sort of governmental agency like that? And what if he agreed to tell them something or to gather said information and or to wear a wire? What if that's what happened? Because I am actually saying that's what happened. It's not even a what if. That's what I feel happened. So I feel like Stephen was actually gathering information because there was something that he knew about that was so egregious to him that it was not a problem for him to go behind this person's back and to gather information. I don't feel his wife knew about it at all. I do feel that he had emotional issues when it came to his sex life, because I feel he was kind of hidden about that, like on the down low. And I feel like that's kind of how they came to him. I feel like they sent a male friend person to him that he trusted and liked and hung around with, and still had a married life and still did that, whatever, to each his own. But this person said, this is what's going on over here with this person. We need this information. You can get this information from this person. And then what I'm seeing is kind of like a spaghetti dinner around the table with this particular person. And I'm not even sure he ate spaghetti. Okay, that's the weird thing. I don't know why I'm being shown the spaghetti. Anyhow, a dinner party, information, plans going down, information happening. And then I hear I was a targeted individual. I was a targeted individual. I was a targeted individual.
So let's stop right there real quick, right? Because the biggest thing you have to think about is the fact that she says that the person was very close to him, was also married, okay? Was also in some type of male relationship with Twitch behind the scenes, as well as someone that would be able to get information out of him that he also was close to their family. Now, the only person that I could remotely think about, and I mean remotely think about, would be Derek Hough. Now, why, of course, are you thinking Derek Hough? Well, because Derek Hough had a very interesting and close relationship with Twitch, whether people know that or not. They were very, very close behind the scenes, did different TikTok dances together. They even had a bit where they did a TikTok dance together, in which in the beginning, Twitch had to preface it saying, "It's okay, I'm married." Now, why would a very straight masculine man be saying, "It's okay, I'm married"? Well, that's because it was a lot of allegations going on that Derek Hough was actually said to be LGBTQ friendly himself. As there was an actual article that was put out about him very recently. Well, not very recently. But ironically, just 10 years before Twitch died, in 2012, Derek Hough actually was caught in a gay club. Says Derek Hough allegedly refuses to have picture taken at a gay bar. I went up to Derek and said, "Excuse me," and asked very nicely if I could have a photo taken with him. Well, he couldn't have been more rude or a bigger diva. I was like, okay. He's clearly not comfortable with having his picture taken in a gay bar. If you're not gay, then what's the problem? Derek's behavior was very suspect. Ken Lee, a patron at the Salt Lake City gay bar Jam Lee, told the National Enquirer that he had spotted the 27-year-old Dancing with the Stars performer shimmying with his buddies at the gay club, wearing skin-tight, shiny silver pants, and approached him for a photo. According to Lee, the dancer got all nervous and fidgety and stammered, "No, no, 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 not here." So why would a person be, number one, caught off guard? Number two, why are you in a gay bar? You're not gay. Three, you're saying, "No, no, no, not here." What do you mean by "no, no, no, not here," sir? Hough has been dogged by gay rumors. Despite his history of dating women, including Shannon Elizabeth, Lauryn Hill, and Cheryl Cole. Hough once told a reporter, "I've been called gay forever because I'm a dancer. I know what I like, and I like women." So, like I said, when I see things like that, on top of I have to look at photos like this in devil horns, comfortably with this pose here, one just has to ask themselves, number one, what do they have to do, with the involvement of Twitch, on top of, was there a behind the scenes relationship with Derek and Twitch that most people just didn't know about? If Sloan is actually correct on things. And Sloan hasn't necessarily been known to have been wrong about a lot of things. Remember, she didn't necessarily catch from channeling Kim Porter when Diddy was going to be having his raid and a lot of his other, his setbacks as of late. So, if I have to think about the relationship between Derek Hough and Twitch, who else would be able to get information out of Twitch other than Derek? So let's go back to Sloan. Because if you're listening closely, you'll start to realize just how much information she actually has, number one. Two, how much of an insight Twitch actually had on the whole thing.
So there was an amount of stalking, targeting, information being used against him. They were running frequencies through his thinking, like frequencies. So one day he felt this way, one day he felt that way, but he knew it wasn't him. There was information gathering. I'm gathering information. I'm gathering a docket against this person. I have paperwork. I saw this. I heard this. I went to parties. I understand what's going on. I absolutely understand what's going on. So I will help you because I have heard about this. Now, it's not just his boss who he was working for. There are other people involved with this, and there were other people that he was speaking about. That now, and here's another thing. Okay, so I understand that they found the body in the hotel in Encino. Okay, so I understand that. The Oak Tree Inn. I understand that no one heard a gunshot. I understand that allegedly, as usual, it was the taking of your life and moving yourself off the planet of your own volition. I don't feel that's actually what happened. And I also don't necessarily feel that they should be saying that's what happened, because I think it would be obvious that it wasn't by the way the body looked and the injuries looked, if you will. So I'm asking what happened, and I'm hearing now, so electronics were brought to the meeting in the hotel. There was a meeting with a male friend. Okay, there was a meeting with a male friend. Said male friend was connected to this surveillance operation. And I'm literally going to say that. Male friend said, let's look at this on the computer. They need to check the computer. I don't know what information was taken off his computer. I don't even know if they can get into the computer. But everything was left very, very like nothing was touched except for him. He was touched. He was brutalized and he was targeted. He was targeted to do this, but it's like layers of stuff happening. So he did turn evidence against a high entertainment person. This is literally like he was surveilling them and they were surveilling him. The frequencies of his thinking, or the way that he thinks and the way that his brain went, I don't feel he took his own life. I just don't. And I don't feel the depression was quite the way they made me write the letter. I had to write the letter. They made me write the letter. I don't even feel like that was the letter he wanted. They literally, think of an episode of The Sopranos. I'm being guided to tell you that. Think of an episode of The Sopranos. This is what happened. This is like a targeted, gang-stalked individual who was on the correct side over here with getting information about a particular person who was nefarious in their actions and and targeted other individuals. And he was talked into it, although reluctantly. Not that he didn't want to do it, but he knew that it could bring about harm to him. Also, when it comes to the wife, she was literally unaware of this, but yet aware of it kind of peripherally around the side because of things he said. And he was deeply disturbed by what was going on. But that's not like enough reason for him to do this himself. He didn't do this himself. He did not do this himself. Okay, this was not something he did himself.
So, now, let's think about earlier. Key thing that she said was, I didn't want to write the letter. So, the wife possibly did not write the letter. He was the one that actually wrote the letter, and the wife possibly found the letter and took it away. Now, the maid said that they didn't find any letter at the time of the actual body being found. So if there was no letter at the time of the body being found, when did Twitch actually write that letter of him being unalived? That's the first question there. Second thing is, who got a hold of that note? Now, she's also confirmed one thing, that there was a key friend, a key male friend. So we've already pinpointed the fact that the male friend would be Derek Hough. So let's picture this now. Derek Hough, allegedly, and Twitch are sitting in the hotel looking at the computer. While Twitch is sitting there, Derek gets up, while Twitch is, of course, off guard, and possibly kills Twitch. That's one way you can think about it. Second thing you can think about is, remember what she said earlier, this is someone that Twitch trusted and possibly had a type of relationship with. So maybe Twitch was in a comfortable state when this actually happened. But the key thing you have to think about, of course, is the confirmation that there was an A-lister that they were gathering information on.